right. Ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He doesn't say action. He doesn't say cut.
That is the entire method. No action, no cut, no second take. Clint Eastwood has run a film set that way for 50 years, and Hollywood still has not worked out how to stand in it. Every actor who signs on hears the stories first. Every one of them assumes the stories are exaggerated.
Is going to work with Clint, searches out the people who have to find out if any of the stories are true. It turns out they all are. All of the stories are true. He does not say action. He does not say cut.
Hey, stop. Okay, stop.
They don't even say rolling. His crew is trained to settle it down. So if you're approaching the set when they're about to start doing a scene, you see all these people that go like this, and that means we're rolling.
He has a very tight-knit...
Kevin Bacon has worked with almost everyone. Asked to name the director who best understood preparation, he did not have to think about it.
I'd say Eastwood.
Yeah.
You know, I learned a lot from Clint. Very importantly, it's an anecdotal thing that he doesn't say action or cut, which, you know, you kind of go, well, who cares? But what it does is it creates this world where the difference between the time when you're not shooting to the time when you're shooting, it all becomes one process. The camera turning on doesn't turn into some big different world, and it really shouldn't be. It shouldn't be as actors, and it shouldn't be as crew. You know, it shouldn't.
September 2016, Tom Hanks is on Jimmy Kimmel promoting Sully. Kimmel asks what Eastwood is actually like to work for. Hanks does not soften it.
He did a beautiful job with it.
He did a fine job. No, I love the guy. No, seriously. Both. No. I say that because he's like, it's like, guess what? Mount Rushmore just came down from South Dakota, and you're working for him now. So he's so obviously the man when he comes on the set. You just want to please him, and you don't want him to look in the. You don't want to look him in the eye for too long, because he gets that kind of, you know. And you don't want. He also. We realize this, both Aaron and I. He treats actors like horses.
In what way?
Well, here's the deal. That other movies, they make a big deal about action. You know, all right, start it up, get ready, everybody. We're rolling. Are we rolling? We're rolling. We are rolling, people. And Clint goes like this, and everybody else goes like this, which means you're rolling. And then he's standing right next to you, and he says, "Okay, go ahead." And then you do it, and maybe he'll say, Just take that again. Just do it one more time. And then you do it. He says, all right, that's enough of that. And that's it.
Bradley Cooper got a phone call about American Sniper. This is the entire pitch.
And then it was Greg Silverman at Warner Brothers who said, you know, Clint, I think, is reading the book just offhandedly. And why don't you call him? And I was like, call him? And he's like, yeah, he'll talk to you. And I was like, okay. And then so I talked to Clint. He's like, let me finish it. I'll call you Monday. And I was like, okay. And I was in Denmark editing Serena. I remember. And then they're like, you know, Clint Eastwood's going to call you at 2 p.m. And he's like, let's make this fucker. And seriously, that's what he said. And I was like, yes, sir. Yes. And then we flew to Midlothian, Texas, just me and him. And I expected
no agents, no entourage. Eastwood checked himself into the same motel as the crew.
Clothes. We checked into the like a motel. I remember the room. He called the room. The phone rang in the morning. He's like, "Want to get some yogurt?" And I was like, "Yeah. Meet you in the lobby." And then we go down the lobby. I'm eating like yogurt, and people are just like their jaws are dropping. The Clint Eastwood is in Midlothian, Texas, motel, just eating like strawberry.
And nobody warns you how fast he moves. Sienna Miller found that out on her first morning.
I learned from him, like, you don't have to say action. Like, he never said action. He never said cut. He shot the rehearsal. Sienna Miller's first day on set, I remember it was on the tarmac. And she was, you know, everybody's so excited. And you're in a Clint Eastwood movie. She's like, Clint's like, yeah, you're going to, you know, go up there and hug him. He's coming on. You know, he's been away. And, you know, and she's like, okay, so we're doing it. She's like, okay, I got it. He's like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, nah, I shot it. And so he would do that a lot. It was amazing.
Matt Damon got the same treatment on day one of Invictus. And he was not even in costume yet. Learned to read him. And what they learn is that a second take is not a gift. It is a warning.
Me and Sean and Kevin and Lawrence and Marcia Gay and Laura, we were scared. We didn't want to be out there with that one take that sucked, you know? So we all practiced.
When he wants one more take, it's going to cause tremendous panic in the room. If there's 5 actors in the room and he wants one more take, they're all probably looking at each other. What did I do? Was it me? Was it you? Why does he want one more take? He always walks away after 2. If Clint wants one more take, that 3rd take, everybody's going to be the best they've ever been in their life.
Ask him for one yourself, and you get a compliment and a no in the same sentence, and you are already moving on.
So you have an ocean of opportunity in order to find the scene. And you can even say, could I have another pass at that?
Boss, can I do one thing? Boss?
And he'll say, no, I think it was, I was really impressed the way it happened just then. And he wanted to say, well, I inverted the lines, and I don't think the pronouns were even proper. But what he's saying is that you're going to have...
He does not raise his voice to fix a performance either. On Mystic River, he fixed one by asking Kevin Bacon to be worse on purpose.
I'll never forget, we were doing a scene with a guy who came in. I guess the guy was a little nervous, he was a little unsteady. And Clint took me aside, he said, sometimes it helps if you could screw up a little bit, because it might make the guy feel like if Kevin's screwing up, then anybody can screw up and I can do better. And I was like, well, that's a really interesting idea. So the next take, I went in and I flubbed my line. And sure enough, the guy got better. He got stronger. And then I went in and did another take and flubbed my line.
Sorry. It's all right, son. It's all right.
Clint said, okay, that's enough screwing up.
That patience has exactly one exception. It is not for movie stars, and it cost him 40 takes. He will also take the note. One actor told him to his face that he had checked out of their scene.
For an actor, there's no more disconcerting feeling than knowing that the person you're in the scene with has absented himself. He was watching the movie. He was watching me, but he wasn't in the scene with me. I said something because I really had never felt that before. And he said, you're right. You're right. It'll never happen again. It never did.
Compliment him, though, and you are on your own. Been in a car with him.
San Francisco, that is like a snake back and forth, straight down, I was in the car with him. And I think it was the sound man was laying down behind us, and they had 2 cameras on the hood. Clint got in the car and did the driving. I thought, well, he won't go too fast. He's not a stunt driver, Well, man alive, I was scared out of my wits, because when we started down that thing back and forth, he was roaring down that thing. And I thought, good grief, if anybody steps out in front of us, they're a goner, And he really handled the car well. You knew he was scaring the living lights out of me, I think he got a big kick out of that.
And it is not an eccentricity. It is the reason the studios keep handing him the money.
Always makes an interesting movie. Always.
Now push it towards him. Push it. There you go.
Clint Eastwood's films have very happy companies, and he comes in under schedule and he comes in under budget every single time. And the greatest influence he's had over me is that's something that I strive to do, but I've never been able to do it as well as he has.
If you have a good screenplay, you're 50% there, and if you cast it well, you're at 40% on top of that, and there's 10%.
He has been asked to explain the method 100 times. This is the closest he has ever come to answering.
He would read through the script.
I like to see what everybody does instinctively. I like to see what the instincts bring to it, and then after a while we can fiddle with it. If you go right away, and if I can go, and I've done that, I can do it if necessary. You go in and say, okay, I want you to come over here, I want you to hang up your coat, and I want you to say this as you're walking across to the mirror, and talk to yourself in the mirror as you're combing your hair, and walk out of the room. You can do that, but sometimes you just say, well, let's see what happens. Just go ahead. And he comes in, so the actor throws his coat down. It seems like a natural thing to do, and we go with him, and as he's going through that, I'm walking with the cameraman, and we're walking around saying, yeah, how about this? How about over here? How about here? We'll go over to here so we can see him looking at himself, and then he comes back.
Only one man ever outblunted him, and he did it to his face at a tribute in front of the industry.
Clint, I say with due respect, 28 years ago we did Kelly's Heroes, and I haven't heard from you since. Clint, I say it, nobody else has said it, and I say it from my heart. You're a lousy actor. Spielberg and all these guys at the table, oh, we know Clint. I know you. Clint's idea of a good time is sitting on a pickup truck watching his dog bark. Mother Eastwood is laughing.
None of it is new either. He has been quietly getting his own way since he was an extra with no lines.
And he was like looking at props, and he put on glasses, and then Rock Hudson like walked onto the set, and Clint was the other doctor or whatever, or scientist, and he saw like the way Clint looked with the glasses, and like 5 minutes later someone came up to Clint and said, oh, you know what, we're gonna say no glasses, and he's like, okay, and then Rock Hudson had the glasses on.
In the 50s, Universal fired him for it. 50 years, 40 films, 4 Oscars. He still does not say action. He still does not say cut. And the biggest names in the business still walk onto his set and get it wrong on the first morning.